Hi, I'm Nikita.
And I'm Lena.
We're two best friends with endless curiosity and plenty to say.
Join us as we dive into everything and anything life throws our way.
From hilarious stories and pop culture hot takes to life lessons and deep dives, no topic is off limits. Whether you're looking for a laugh, a new perspective, or just some fun company, this podcast feels like a chat with your bestie.
Get ready for unfiltered conversations, lots of laughs, and a whole lot of heart.
This is Two Voices, One Vibe.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, I know. I did it.
High five. Oh, perfect. Look at me go. Look at that. Is that not the best?
Bestest.
All right. Can we start now?
We can do it. Let's do it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome back to Two Voices.
One vibe.
So we're going to start off with a little Christmas recap, right? Is that what the plan is?
Yeah, let's do it, because it was just Christmas, and I feel like that's a big deal, and we should probably talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was your Christmas?
It was good. Well, no, that's a lie. It wasn't. And it starts.
Why is she lying to me already? Like, we're supposed to be the first year.
Well, I wanted you to think that it was good because, you know, it was the first year I didn't have the kids on Christmas Eve to wake up on Christmas morning at the house. So that was a little, I don't want to say hard, but
it was tough.
It was tough, but it was different. I know they really wanted to be here Christmas morning. My little one had a full-on meltdown over it, so that was fun. Yeah. So, but I saw them Christmas Eve day, and then I dropped them off to their father, and then they spent the night with him, and then they came back to me Christmas Day. So they were supposed to come at noon. So then I called my dad on Christmas, and I'm like, hey, Dad, what's up? Merry Christmas, whatever. He goes, Are you going to have the girls today? I was like, yes. Yes, I am. He goes, are we going to have any time to talk before the girls get there? And I was
you
like...
wanted some daddy-daughter time.
Catch up. Well, so my dad's 82 years old, so my initial thought was, oh my God, are you going to tell me you're dying or something? Aww. You know, like, that's where my brain goes at this point. So I was like...
It's a tough time with older dads, I get it.
Yeah, well, that's a whole topic for another... Have you heard of the sandwich generation?
No.
We are part of the sandwich generation. Did you know that?
As long as I'm not the bread because I have celiac disease and I'm gluten-free and I'm like the meat.
So, I mean, technically we would be the meat.
Okay.
So with the sandwich, and we're going off on a tangent here, but we're gonna go with it at this point. So the sandwich generation is, you have young like littles on one end, and then you have older parents on the other, and then we're in the middle. So see, we would be the meat. So anyway, let me get back to Christmas. So he's like, yeah, I want to talk to you for a little bit before the girls get there. I was like, oh, okay. I'll tell their father to bring them at 3 because they were coming for 2.
Okay.
And so Dad's like, are you sure that's not too late? I'm like, no, that's fine. So now I'm thinking, oh my God, does he got cancer? Happening. Is he dying? Like, this is, they just moved back from Florida. I'm like, this is not going to end well. But they got here at 2 and, we sat here. We BS'd for a while, caught up. I haven't seen them since Thanksgiving. I went to their house for Thanksgiving for dinner. So they just wanted to talk. I'm like, could you have just said?
Right.
I want to talk.
Everything's okay. I just want to have an adult conversation.
Yeah. So then the girls got here, and oh my gosh. So Christmas morning, I call the girls. I FaceTime them. I'm like, oh, Merry Christmas, boo. Merry Christmas, boo, boo. Whatever. I was like, what did Santa bring you? You ready for this one?
Oh, no. Oh, I'm scared.
My little one goes, Mom, you're never going to believe this. And I was like,
oh, no.
What?
Dun, dun, dun.
She's like, Santa didn't bring me any gifts to Daddy's house. I was like, what do you mean?
Oh, major epic fail. His first year as single dad, and he forgot the Santa gifts.
I was like, what do you mean Santa didn't bring you any gifts? She's like, there were no gifts from Santa here, Mom. I was like, well, don't worry. I said, there's 2 piles of presents here. One pile's bigger than the other. I said, and I had her on FaceTime, so I flipped the phone around to show her the tree. I'm like, see that big pile right there? That's yours. She's like, oh, he found me. I'm like, yes.
He was just a little confused with the logistics this year. That's all.
I was like, this can't be happening right now. So then I was talking to the older one, and I'm like, how was your Christmas? She's like, oh, it was good. I was like, so what did Daddy get you for Christmas? Ready for this one?
No, because now I'm actually really scared.
He got them remote control cars.
Did he suddenly think he had boys?
I don't know.
And not girly girls who love makeup and glitter and all things that shine and sparkle?
So
Because those are not those kind of girls.
No, they're not. No,
like, it's okay. say I don't have any problem with girls playing with boy
Sure,
toys, or
absolutely, vice versa.
traditional stereotypes of what a boy versus a girl toy is. That's fine, but those are not the type of girls that your girls are.
I know it.
Oh man.
He also got them, some sweatshirts and some little things, but I was like, oh. So, Christmas Eve, we were here, and they were like, oh, Mom, can we open presents? I was like, well, do you guys want to open your presents from each other? Because I had all the presents from me.
That you got them.
Yeah, under the tree that you so graciously wrapped, my little elf.
That's me, Christmas elf.
I hate wrapping.
Well, I didn't have that many people to wrap for this year, which was a good thing.
Don't have many people to wrap for next year, please, because you're going to have plenty to wrap for me. So, I had all that stuff under the tree, and they're like, Mom, can we open our presents from each other? I was like, fine. Oh, hi, Kai.
Hi, can you go lay down, please? Thank you.
So, they opened those, and then they went off and they played, and then they came back in, and they're like, Mom, can we just open one present from you? And I was like, just one. And they kind of like looked at me like, and I'm like, do you want to just open them all? And they're like, yes. So we wound up opening our presents to each other on Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day, they got back at 3 and tore through their presents from Santa.
Cute.
So Christmas was safe. Santa did
So,
come.
did they act like they were surprised when they opened up all the gifts that we bought together when we went to the mall?
Oh, so you ready for this one? So Christmas Eve, we're opening all the presents from Mommy, right? And as you know, we were at the mall and bought clothes for the big one, bought clothes for the little one, and I had other presents for them that they did not know about.
Sure.
So they separated their presents into 2 different piles, and the little one goes, Mom, my pile from you is smaller than my sister's. And meanwhile, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, but
Your
Santa.
pile from Santa is bigger than your
Exactly.
sister's. Yeah.
So
But you can't say that.
no, I couldn't say that to her.
Right.
So I was like, all right. Yeah, I said, I know. I was like, but don't worry, Santa's coming. Maybe he's going to bring you a bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
She's like, oh, that's true. And then she's like, well, and my sister doesn't believe in Santa anyway. And I was like, whoa. Which she doesn't. The older one doesn't.
Right, but we don't need to talk to the younger one about it. We can keep our beliefs to ourselves when it comes to secret holiday traditions.
And it wasn't her that brought it up. It was other kids. So it's not even like...
Always is.
Yeah, it's not like it was my oldest making it...
A big deal.
Yeah. So they open the presents, and then Christmas Eve, I'm on the phone with the girls, and, saying goodnight to them, whatever. And I pulled my big one aside, and I was like, listen, your pile from Santa is smaller than your sister's pile from Santa. She goes, that's all right, Mom. I don't believe in Santa anyway. I was like, I know. So, yeah, that was the excitement. That was Christmas. And then, like I said, my dad and his wife and my sister came, and they had presents for the kids. And my big one she's obsessed with that show on Netflix, Outer Banks.
Okay.
Obsessed. Has watched it season 1 to season whatever it is 4 times over. So she wanted the Outer Banks book. So my stepmother's really big on books and
reading and all that stuff.
She was an English teacher.
Oh, okay.
Explains a lot.
Yep.
So she bought both girls' books. She bought the little one, Amelia Bedelia books, and I had given her the Outer Banks book to get for the older one. So she gets it, and my dad found out. And my dad typically doesn't get involved in anything, never gives her shit about anything. When my dad saw that she got the Outer Banks book for the older one, he's like, we're not giving this to her. So she calls me, she goes, your father is having a coronary. And I'm like, about what? She's like, because of this Outer Banks book. I'm like, what is the big deal? She's like, have you seen it? I was like, yes, I've watched it with her. Like, we know what it is, and the inappropriate things, because it's not the most appropriate show. I'll be the first to admit it, but I have conversations with my kid. I'm like,
right.
You have questions, you come to me, we'll talk about it, we'll figure it out, we'll go through it. She's like, oh, okay. She's like, I'm going to tell your dad that, so, maybe he'll get off my back about this. I was like, just give it to her, it's fine.
Right.
So, yeah.
Aww.
The drama that is...
Well, I remember when mine was little, and she actually believed in Santa for a really long time. It was to the point that I actually had to tell her that Santa wasn't real, because I think at that point she was going into middle school, and I'm like, I have to burst the bubble before all the other kids tell her, and then she's really upset, so I needed to let her know. But before that, it was really funny, because she used to always say to me, like, Mom, why does Santa always get me, like, the best gifts, and you and Daddy always give me, like, the most boring gifts? And I remember being like, like, trying to bite my tongue, and, but, like, I would always give her the stuff she needed, right? So, like, if she needed clothes or shoes or all that kind of boring stuff, and then Santa would give her, like, the really fun stuff.
So, speaking of, what's your thoughts on Santa giving the expensive gifts? Because, like, there is so much controversy. Have you seen this on TikTok? Not TikTok, on Facebook.
I have
Don't
not.
tell your kids that Santa gave them the most expensive gift.
Is this because we don't want other kids to find out that they didn't get expensive gifts from Santa?
Yes.
Okay, I feel like that's personal problems, right?
I agree. I
if
wholeheartedly agree.
I want Santa to gift my kid a trip to Disney World, and Santa's going to gift my kid a trip to Disney World.
But, I mean, there's people getting their underwear all twisted up over this. Yeah. You even seen that on Facebook?
I have not. But you know what? If they feel like they want to give their kids more than they can give them, then go work a second job and go
100%.
work some overtime or do whatever it is. Save differently throughout the year. Maybe don't go get your nails done or whatever and save some extra money if that's what you really want to do for your kid. But don't parent and gift shame other parents for what they're able to do for their kids. Listen, we're all able to do different things for our kids. You know, I was a single mom ever since my daughter was about 6 years old. So I wasn't able to give her the same things when she was 6 years old as some of her parents who had, you know, some of her friends who had a 2-parent household.
Right.
And it is what it is. And I'm never going to tell my kid, you know, be jealous of your friends or whatever it is. I'm going to do the best that I can. And that's it. I feel like every parent is doing the best that they can for their kids.
100%.
And they're making their own decisions. And who am I to judge what somebody else gifts their child from Santa?
Yeah. Well, like I said, some of the fights I've seen, I love reading Facebook comments. It's one of my favorite pastimes. But yeah, so I was like, Santa came?
Do you remember seeing that Facebook thing, by the way, where it was like, describe your ex by a retail store? In some of the comments. And it was like, justice, because I need some justice after what he put me through. But I think the best was your comment on it.
I remember commenting it for you, and I don't remember what I said. It was something about BJ's, right?
Yeah, it was like BJ's because he likes to give them, not just receive them. I almost died.
BJ's. Yeah. Because he likes to give them, not just receive them.
That was a really good one. I think another one was like Costco because he gives it to everyone in bulk.
There was some good ones in that thread.
There were some really good ones.
Yeah,
we should probably read through that thread one day and just let people laugh. So if any of our listeners have any really good ones to describe your ex using a retail store, we'd love to hear what you have to say. I saw one yesterday, actually, as I was scrolling through Facebook, and it was describe your ex as a piece of food.
Yeah.
I can't.
I can only imagine where this is going.
And somebody said fruitcake, which actually makes me laugh because that's my nickname for my ex.
Yes.
And they were like, fruitcake because nobody wants it, so you have to eat it and it makes you sick. Which isn't exactly the reason why he got his name as fruitcake, but I'm here for it.
I mean, yeah. If the shoe fits.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
How was your Christmas?
My Christmas was actually really fun and interesting this year. So this year it was a very non-traditional Christmas. For all the 37 years I've been alive, every year for Christmas, we've always gone to my uncle's house. And this year he said, I'm not doing it anymore. You know, he's 84 years old. So I think it's just time.
Yeah.
But it was really kind of interesting that he just wasn't going to be doing Christmas. And for Christmas Eve, we actually got invited to my mom's family. And in 37 years, I've never spent a Christmas with my mom's side of the family.
So we're just
my dad's family.
Changing everything up.
Everything was like all up in the air this time. Yeah, I know, Kai. I'm sorry. You were home for Christmas. So it was definitely different, but it was really good. I got to see some family who I hadn't seen in 5 or so years. We had family that flew in from Washington State and stuff. So it was really good to see everybody and catch up and just kind of get to know what's going on. We have cousins that are engaged, cousins that just moved in together, cousins that just bought houses together. So just kind of getting the lowdown on what's going on with everybody is really cool. One of the interesting things that I got to do for Christmas this year, my neighbors actually invited me over for Christmas brunch.
Yes.
And so being a first generation American, we never really celebrated Christmas morning. Like that wasn't a thing for us. We always opened our gifts on Christmas Eve. We never did Christmas stockings, so Christmas morning wasn't a thing for us. So she invited me over. They were all getting together for Christmas morning. And that was really cool because there were a lot of really young people there. So for me, that's really interesting. My first cousins are both in their 60s. So to see all of these cousins and brothers and sisters that are all like young and beautiful and good looking and all the little kids opening up their presents. So it was really, really cute.
That's fun.
But the most interesting thing that happened is Santa got me the greatest gift for Christmas this year.
What did Santa get you?
I didn't even know I wanted it. It was not on my Christmas list. However, I walk into my neighbor's house and she introduces me to her brother. So, hey, it's really nice to meet you. And he's like, and this is...
So now you have a new boyfriend?
No. It's the boyfriend's, the brother's girlfriend.
Are we a lesbian now?
No, but I do love her. So we're talking and I'm asking her, where she lives. So she tells me where she lives. And I'm like, oh, I grew up in the town over. I grew up in Linden. And she's like, I grew up in Linden. And I'm like, oh, did you go to the high school?
How old is she?
So that was the thing. She said she graduated in 2001. I graduated in 2005.
I graduated in 2001.
Oh, see? So you guys were the same year.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, I didn't go to London High School. So she went to actually one of the Votech schools. She's like, but my sister went to London High School. So I asked her what her last name is, and she tells me her last name. And I'm like, oh my gosh, your sister is so-and-so. And she's like, yes. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, oh, I know you. And she's like, you do look familiar.
Oh, no.
She's Fruitcake. So for the viewers, Fruitcake is my ex Fruitcake's sister. Best friend. So
Fruitcake's sister's best friend.
Yes.
Oh my
So a couple years
goodness.
ago, we had thrown a surprise 40th birthday party for my ex's sister. And
She was at the party.
she was at the party.
Oh, that's
so we pull up
funny.
our phones and we actually pull up the pictures of us together.
At
And
the
it's
party?
At the party.
Oh,
a couple
that's
years
so
ago.
cool.
And now she's dating my neighbor's brother. Yes. If you can follow that story.
That's a whole...
So that was the best thing
Wow.
ever because she's like, oh my God, she's like, please tell me you guys aren't together anymore. He's a piece of shit. And I'm like, oh no, we are, yeah, we are not together. Oh, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, you're allowed to
Oh,
say
okay. And I was like, no, we are not together anymore.
I've
She's
just,
like,
I've heard you call them all the names under the
Oh,
sun. I didn't
yeah.
realize this was coming from somebody else.
She's like, he's an abusive fuck. You know how many
Oh my
times he
God.
beat the shit out of his sister? And I was like, oh.
Let me tell you my story.
Yeah. And I was like, so I have stories about that too. And I was like, but I bet the part that you guys didn't know about him is that he's also into men. And she's like, I'm not surprised. We always thought that. And I was like,
BJ's.
why didn't anybody tell me? Yes, see?
BJ's.
Kind of coming full circle.
BJ's.
So I think we're definitely going to need an episode to kind of talk about that whole
Yeah.
thing and how that
Oh,
all came
definitely.
about. But the best Christmas gift ever was, oh my God, let's take a selfie together. She's like, because I'm going to post it on my Instagram. I'm going to put it on my story and I'm going to put it on my page. And his sister's going to see and his family's going to see.
Oh,
and
my
it's going to be
God.
amazing. So
Have
of
you
course,
talked to her
she's having-
since?
I did actually talk to her today.
So what was said? Anything?
So nothing was said. She doesn't know whether or not the sister saw the story, but she's like, I posted it as a static on my Instagram page. She's like, so
It's there.
it's there.
It's
She's
there.
going to see it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, this is great. I can't believe Santa didn't forget about me 37 years later. I guess I was on the good list.
So there is a Santa.
There's definitely a Santa. Because how does that happen?
Yeah.
How does that happen that I walk into my neighbor's house to spend Christmas with them for the first time ever, and they just started dating in like June. So I'm like, what are the chances that the two of us would run into each other? We would make the connection. She would tell me how awful he is, and I would be like, yeah, I've actually gone through a lot of that too, and this is what happened. Because for those of you who have dealt with narcissists in the past, we see that they oftentimes lie about the situation, what's going on, and it's kind of like a smear campaign, so they make you look like you're the bad person. So, of course, he tried to drag my name through the mud after the breakup about what happened, but now everybody's actually going to start to see the real thing, which is fine. I mean, I don't need to clear my name. I know who I am, and I can go to bed at night, every night, knowing that I was a good, decent human being, and
Yeah.
I did the right thing. But it is just a little Christmas miracle that happened. So...
Only you.
yeah, Merry Christmas.
Only you.
Yeah, so it was a good Christmas. It was definitely a good Christmas. And because I didn't have to buy for him or his kids or his parents or his sister or anybody, I was Santa for myself this year. So I
No,
bought
you were
myself all
Santa
the
for me
things.
too, though, and the girls.
Yeah, I was, which was nice.
So can we talk about what you got me for Christmas and what I got you for Christmas?
let's do it.
Because it's hilarious. At least I think so.
I think it's funny too.
All right, so you want to talk about what I got you first?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, it was funny because you didn't have wrapping paper to wrap my gift.
Yeah, this is how
because
you became my elf.
I wrapped all of your gifts. So I had to come and drop off the wrapping paper and then come back so I wouldn't see my gift. So when I came in, there was
Only
this-
one.
Yes, but it was gigantic.
Yes.
And I had absolutely no idea what it was. And I was so excited when I opened it because it was actually luggage.
Mm-hmm.
So you and I are both world travelers. We love to travel. That's how I kind of earned my nickname, the Invite Queen.
Yes.
Am invited, will travel. But what happened was all of my luggage went to shit. Like the wheels were falling off, things were breaking, and I had ordered new luggage, and when it came, it was all scraped up, and I didn't have enough time to send it back and reorder luggage before my last trip. So I ended up borrowing your luggage. I
Yes.
got my mom's luggage one time, and I just hadn't gotten around to buying luggage, so I was super excited that it was luggage, which means I need to christen it and I have to go somewhere. And then you also got me the matching comfort sets that I got you for your birthday. So that was awesome. I
We
got
should
little
wear
matchy
them one
matches.
day.
What do you mean we should? We will.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was a given.
Maybe the next episode. Or no, the next episode we have even better things to
We have to wear your Christmas gift the next episode.
Yes.
it's your
One
turn.
of my Christmas gifts.
Okay, so your turn.
So, you so graciously got me teeth whitening powder.
Which, no, it wasn't like a knock. You made it
No,
seem
no.
Like I was like,
I didn't get that
hey,
far.
by the way, Nikita, this is for you. I think you should use it.
You didn't get. Let me get that
Okay.
far. So I'm the queen of doom scrolling on TikTok, as we know, because I'll send you all the stupid cat videos.
And monkeys.
And monkeys.
Yeah.
The monkey videos are the best.
I think we should get a monkey and share the monkey. Just saying.
I have 2 monkeys.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I had sent you the video of this tooth whitening powder.
Yeah.
It's purple powder in the blue bottle. And you got me the blue bottle, which I've been using every day since I opened it. And I can't tell if there's a difference, so, but whatever. I just thought it was the best. You got me not 1, but 2 face shavers because you were appalled that I shaved my face with a Gillette razor.
With like a men's razor. Who shaves their lady face with men razors?
I do.
I don't think that's normal. Is anybody listening do this? Is this a thing? This is not a thing.
It is
They
a thing.
actually have like these face shaver electronic devices that are made for removing hair from your face for like makeup application and for whatever other reasons.
That's why I use my Gillette.
That's not okay. So, and I didn't want you to like cut up your face one day and
She's like, here, you need to brush your teeth more and you need to shave your face. Let me give you all the things.
But you also love all the things. You're like the queen of all like the beauty products.
And I think my favorite present, most random thing ever, the bottle of mace, spray mace.
I want everybody to be safe out there. And I mean, did you guys hear about that horrific story that happened on the subway in Brooklyn where the woman was set on fire?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, is this where the mace came from?
It was, yes, part of it.
Okay.
So she had fallen asleep on the subway, as most people do, and this man actually like doused her in kerosene and
my God.
lit her on fire.
Oh no, I didn't hear about
And
this.
she burned to death.
Oh my God.
So in my other life, my professional life and what I do for a living, obviously.
My other life.
Safety and security is a huge concern of mine.
Yes.
I just want people to be safe. And I know, you're a single mom. Sometimes you're out with the girls. You work late by the time that you leave work. It's really dark already.
There's some people at work I wouldn't mind macing.
See? And you never know. You might meet you one day. Sometimes you just don't know who you are. I mean, I think about the fact that I was with my ex-husband almost 10 years and I didn't really know who he was.
I mean, that's a whole other story for another podcast.
And then my last ex and how that went. And you think you know somebody and you don't know somebody. And then there could be strangers and it could be dangerous. So I just want you to be protected.
She loves me.
Not there to protect you. I just want you to be able to kill a bitch or shank a hoe, So what
I'll
if you
shank somebody.
You gotta do what you gotta do. So so you got you some pepper spray.
Saved your life. And then you
I
also
might save your life one day. Just like you saved the baby's life when we first met. Comes full circle.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And then you also got me, oh my God, and it's so funny because this can tie into our shopping trip, an airy sweatshirt that I wanted. And then my other favorite gift is a new hoodie that the front of it has the podcast logo on it and the back says Nikita. And I know somebody couldn't have just bought that one.
No.
So she also has a matching one that says Lena on the back.
See, so now we have
those two
matching podcast hoodies. We are official. And
we
maybe
have merch.
One
Not
day
for
we can
sale.
open up a store and we can have our own merch for sale.
We have merch, but not for sale.
Yeah, we have our own merch. And that way people can stop us in the streets and be like, oh my God, Nikita and Lena, I recognize you, because they're going to be there one day. We need to put it out into the universe,
definitely. We will definitely make that happen. Do you remember when we went shopping with the girls before Christmas, for Christmas?
Yes, because we had to split up so we can take them shopping for each other.
So I had asked you if you wanted to go to the mall because I needed a responsible adult to take my child.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure that I was fall under the responsible adult category, but I'm like, hey, I'm in. If you trust me with your kids, man, I'm in.
Sometimes I wonder, but here we are. So we were in Sephora, and your birthday happens to be right before Christmas, too.
Yep.
So, my birthday present to you was to get you some new makeup that you desperately needed after that closet clean out that we experienced all the expired makeup in.
Really didn't know makeup could expire, because all that makeup I've had since my wedding, which was in 2007.
So it was severely expired.
I didn't know it expires. I'm not the most girly girl, but I'm learning.
Stick with me, kid.
Yeah.
So we go to Sephora, and I wanted to get you some new foundation, and I got you an eyeshadow palette. But let's talk about the foundation debacle.
Apparently, I am very difficult to match.
Yes.
I guess I'm such a light shade of white that either it comes out too pink, too yellow, too orange, or too blue, which I didn't even know foundation could be blue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Olive.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. But I think we probably went through about 6 or 7 different brands to try to color match me.
And then we finally settled on the Fenty Eavesdrops, and even that you wound up exchanging.
Yeah, because it didn't give me like any coverage. I felt it just totally washed me out. And then when I went to the Clinique lady, I was there with her for over an hour while she was trying to match me.
And didn't she even give you shit about trying to match you?
And I was like, I just think I'm like not Clinique matchable. And she's like, that can't be. And she's like, if we need to mix colors, I was like, I'm not mixing colors, lady. I'll go somewhere else. I'm like, this is a lot of work just to be me. But yeah, so I did settle on a Clinique one, and then I also picked up an Armani one.
Yeah, the Giorgio Armani,
Yeah.
Was that,
which was pretty cool.
That was the actual foundation, that wasn't the concealer, right?
No, that was the actual foundation.
Yeah.
Oh, so let's talk about the concealer.
Oh my gosh.
Because I didn't know what to do with this, and I was like, well, what am I supposed to conceal? And you're like, you know, like under your eyes. And I'm like, well, how far under my eyes? And then you're like, well, you need 2. You need one that's like your perfect match, and then you need one that's lighter. And I'm like, well, why do I want it that's lighter? And you're like, to brighten. I'm like, well, where am I brightening? And they're like, you need to put these like 4 dots, like one here, one here, one here, and one here. So you should have seen me when I got home trying to play with my new makeup. I'm like, okay, dot, 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 dot. And I'm like, now what do I do with these dots? Oh, and she said under my eyes. So like now I'm starting to look like a clown. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this makeup. So I'm pretty sure we need to do a makeup tutorial at some point because I don't know what to do with
lessons. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we're gonna. But that was definitely a fun trip, and
it's always interesting going to the mall with the kids.
Yeah, and it was cute to see the kids wanting to shop for their sister. Like, I think she would like this. I want to buy this for her. So that was cute that they were looking after each other.
Yeah, they did. They did good. They did real good.
That's cute.
Did you decorate the house or outside?
Yes.
Oh, this seems like it's a story.
So I actually decorated the inside of my house before I left for my big old family vacation, November 22nd.
Oh, the Thanksgiving trip.
For the Thanksgiving trip, which was going to be over my birthday, and I knew that I was going to be gone for almost 2 full weeks. So I knew by the time I got back, I wouldn't have too much time. So I had decorated the inside of my house and put up my tree and everything before I left. When I got back, it was really sweet. One of our really good family friends, who's also happens to be like my mom's best friend, watched my dog in tandem with you. You guys kind of took turns watching my dog. And so she was really sweet, and she had decorated some of the outside of my house, but I don't have an electrical outlet outside. So she did everything that was like on a timer that was battery operated. So when I got back, I knew that I had to do the outside of my house, and I just didn't feel like doing it. And it was so cold. I had just gotten back from Florida and Central America and Mexico, and it was hot. And then it was like in the teens back here. So the one day it had rained all day long, and I'm sitting and I'm watching like Dateline or something on TV.
You watch Dateline?
Every night. How else do people fall asleep other than watching murderers kill people? Yes. I mean, that's so common for me.
Sounds right.
So I'm looking at the clock. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and as I see, you know, next to the Alexa, it also talks about the temperature. And I'm like, like, it's actually kind of warm out. I'm like, and it rained all day, so the grass and the ground is going to be soft. I'll be able to put the stakes in. I'm like, now's the perfect time to decorate my house. So at 1 o'clock in the morning.
1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. So I put my clothes on. It was still raining. I went into the attic, and I pulled everything down, and I started decorating my house at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, God.
So the best part was at 2:30, so my neighbors, the ones who had invited me over for Christmas, this big SUV pulls up, and I now know that it was an Uber. And so my neighbor gets out of the SUV. It's 2:30 in the morning. I'm hanging Christmas bush lights on my bushes outside my front door. And my neighbor comes out, and he's like, hey, Lena. And I'm like, hey, how are you? Like, nothing. Like, it's 2:30 in the morning.
Like, this is normal.
This is totally normal. He doesn't bring up the fact that it's 2:30 and I'm decorating my house in the middle of the night and it's raining. And I don't bring up the fact that it's 2:30 and why are you just coming home or leaving or where were you? I don't know. It's none of my business. But I just love how normal it was that he just waved at me and I just waved at him like, hey, how's it going? All good? Yeah, good. All right, I'll see you later. 2:30 in the morning. So I did. I decorate my house in the middle of the night, and it looks fabulous, and I had no issues getting the stakes into the ground because the ground was soft.
Do you know who decorated the outside of my house?
Your ex-husband. Which is, I told you guys have like the most copacetic, amicable relationship, and I think it's fabulous. I wish I had me an ex-husband like that. You know what? That's not true, because if I had me an ex-husband like that, he'd probably still be my husband, because if you guys can get along like all the way throughout a divorce and then after, probably just should have stayed married, because you don't really find that.
No, we can talk about this in a whole other episode, but long story short, and I'm not going to get into it right now, is we are better off as friends than we are as lovers. And
don't use the word lovers. It's like the word moist. It makes me feel dirty inside.
Okay, we're better off as friends than we are life partners. Is that better?
No, because then it sounds like you guys are domestic partners, life partners.
Okay, we are better off as friends than we are spouses. Is that better?
Thank you. Why did it take 3 shots to nail that one?
I like to fuck with you.
Yeah, seriously. She said lovers and I said moist. I mean, I'm pretty sure our listeners would agree. The word lovers is just cringeworthy.
Eh.
Yeah. lovers, moist, life partners.
All right, you're going down the wrong track
I don't
right
like any of those words.
Okay. All right. Anything else you have about Christmas you'd like to share?
No, I'm glad it was here. I'm glad it was over. Too much food, too much family. The way it was supposed to be. It was great. We'll see you next year.
Next year. Speaking of...
Oh, no.
Do you have New Year's plans? Because as we're recording this, it's not quite New Year's. Today is actually December 28th.
Yeah.
So, do we have New Year's plans? Because I can tell you what my New Year's plans entail.
So why don't you tell me about yours first?
My New Year's plans entail me and my girls in my house going nowhere.
See, I'm not surprised because everybody who has invited me for New Year's has their kids this year.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, that's great, and I love you, and I love your kids, but I'd actually like to do something for New Year's. So this is interesting. So a few years back, before I had met my ex, I was dating, and I met this guy, and we had gone on a couple dates, and he had invited me to spend New Year's with him. So we went to the town where he's from, and he's like local royalty there. Like his name is up in the bars, and there's newspaper articles about him, and like everybody loves him. So we spent New Year's together. We went to a couple bars and met his friends and everything. We had a really great time. And then sometime between leaving the bar and getting back to his place, which was where I was parked, I don't remember.
Because we were drunk?
Yes. Because it was New Year's, right?
Okay.
And it wasn't anything bad or anything like that. So the next day I had texted him and I was like, hey, had a really great time. It was really nice to meet your friends. I had a lot of fun. Like, sorry, I totally don't remember after we left the bar, but I had a really good time. He never texted me back. Right? I got ghosted. I've never gotten ghosted. Right? So,
oh no.
I told some of my friends about this, and they're all up in arms, right? And they're like, what did you do?
Right.
You're like the nicest person we know. You're funny. You're not like a mean drunk. Like,
right.
What could have possibly happened? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. So, obviously, I ended up meeting somebody after that and, you know, dating and whatever. So he and I had reconnected. Funny story. He had messaged me when I was on a dating app.
Okay. And
I knew who he was because we had gone out before. Mm-hmm. And so he messaged me. I'm like, hey, really good, you know, to talk to you. How's everything? How's this? How's that? So when I had given him my number, I'd actually given him my work phone number because
your drug phone number?
My drug phone. My actual phone was dying. And I didn't charge it. So, you know, we had texted back and forth, and we had planned to meet up at this restaurant. So I went to go meet him, gave him a hug and a kiss and everything, and he sits down, and, you know, he asked me this question about how I know where he's from. So he was actually born in another country. And so he was asking how I knew about the town that he was from, and I'm like, because you told me. I'm like, and it's also on your dating profile. He's like, no, I didn't tell you. I'm like, yeah, you did. I'm like, but it's on your dating profile. He's like, no, it's not. So I pull up the dating profile and show him, and he's like, oh, okay. So then he's like, you know, I realized we never really talked about anything important. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, I don't know how many kids you have. You don't know how many kids I have. And I'm like, no, I know you have 3 kids. And he looks at me like I have 5 heads. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I didn't tell you that I had 3 kids. I'm like, yeah, you did. And he's like, listen, Lena. He's like, I went through all of our messages on the dating app. He's like, and I went through all of our messages on my cell phone. He's like, and not once did I tell you that. How do you know that about me?
Is that when you told him that you were a find-out-ologist?
No. But I think everybody knows that now. But that's when I told him, you told me that when we dated like 3 or 4 years ago.
Was he like floored?
And that's when I realized he had no idea who I was. He didn't remember me. So I was like, is this funny? Should I be embarrassed? Should I be mad? Like, how am I supposed to act? So at that point, that's when I told the bartender that she needed to make his drink a triple because he was going to need it. And she did.
Was he like freaking out?
Yes. I think we were both freaking out, but we held it together really well.
Okay.
And he was like, you should leave right now. He's like, you should be so mad. He's like, you should get up and you should walk out. He's like, and the fact that you're not is just going to show like what an amazing person you are. And I'm like, yeah, but like all of these years I've been wondering what I did that you ghosted me. I'm like, and I couldn't wait to like ask you and find out because it's been eating at me alive. And I was like, I come to find out you don't even remember me.
So there you go.
Yeah. So we've had a lot of talks about it since where he just kind of like, you know, said he wasn't in the right place to be dating at that time. And he wasn't in the right mindset. And we lived kind of far apart, and he was saying, you know, he traditionally wouldn't date somebody who lived that far away. It was just a lot of effort for him to put in at the time that I don't think he was looking to put in. And now he is, and now my life is in a completely different, crazy place where I don't have the time.
So you're talking to him
again? Somebody. Yeah. So, you know, we talk here and there. We'll go out to dinner. We'll get together. So long story short, he had invited me to recreate New Year's from prior years.
Are you doing it? Please tell me you're doing it.
So I'm doing it under the condition that we drink less and remember more.
So where are you guys going?
So we're going to the same bars that we went to that New Year's.
That's cute, though.
Yeah, so it's kind of cute. We also recreated our first date. We went to the same restaurant that we went to the first time that we went out to try to see if it would jog his memory.
Did it?
He said no. But it's weird because like he kind of remembers our second date and like he remembers like pieces and stories about my life but doesn't remember the entire thing.
How much did he drink?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, was he drunk the entire time we were dating? Was he just drunk like that night? I'm not really sure what happened.
Well, how long did you guys date for though?
It was probably like a matter of like a week, but we probably went out like 3 times within that week.
We dated for a week.
But we went out like 3 times within that week.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so we had seen each other a lot. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of thought that it was a little funny. So
that is funny.
It'll be interesting. Like I said, we're doing the same thing that we had done years past.
Okay.
In the new year. But less drinking and more remembering.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about this.
Yeah, so it should definitely be interesting.
All right, so we need to have a follow-up on this.
Yes.
We're going to have to follow up on this.
Absolutely. I'm here for it.
All right.
Only me. These things only happen to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I said, I'm going to be home with the kids and the dog.
Yeah.
Right here.
Okay.
On my couch.
Well, if I FaceTime you because I'm left somewhere because you forgot who I am. And
Are you still sharing locations with me?
Yes, you still have my location.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that goes to show you how often I check your location.
Yeah, I'm still sharing location with you and with my other girlfriend, which was the contingency of me going on my last trip to Florida. So.
Oh, sounds familiar.
Yeah.
That was your contingency with me, too.
Yeah. See that?
So. Good. So if I have to shank somebody,
yep,
I'll know where to find you.
You got it.
All right. So should we, since we're talking about New Year, should we talk about highs and lows of this past year? Do you have any highs and lows from this past year?
Oh, there were a lot of lows this year.
Yeah.
Yes, but some of the highs were getting out of a really bad relationship.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a high.
Would you... In the long run, yes, it was a high, but going through it, it was low.
Going through it was tough. It was really hard for me. I also went on my first trip by myself this year. Like I've gone on business trips and work trips by myself. But this was the first time I actually went like on a vacation by myself. And I went to a wedding by myself without a +1.
Yeah, I remember talking to you through all of that.
Yeah. So that was really tough. But
it made you stronger.
Oh, it totally made me stronger because now I know that I can do anything and I can do it by myself. And I love me and I love hanging out with myself and I don't have a problem being alone. Like I've never been one of those girls who had to jump from one relationship to another because I needed to be with somebody. But it just reminded me of like how strong I am. And you know, when you're with somebody in that situation, it's like, I love you so much and I could never live without you. Like, that's not true. I lived before you and I'm going to live after you. I'm going to be fine. You know, it doesn't mean that you love them any less. It just means that you always have to continue to put yourself first.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that was a big thing. We struggled with a lot of health issues with my dad this year, so we're still very much going through that. But one of the highs and another Christmas miracle was my dad actually quit smoking.
That's awesome.
So my dad is 79 years old. He's probably been smoking since he was like 12 years old because that's what you do in Europe when you grow up. That's like a normal thing for children to be smoking. And he didn't even tell anybody that he quit smoking. So that was a really big...
He didn't tell anybody?
He didn't tell anybody. It's like very like my dad to just kind of fly below.
So wait.
Yeah.
How did you find out?
So my mom and I go to the doctor's appointment with him because my dad just comes back from the doctor's like, yeah, everything's fine. So my mom and I went and got copies of his records and we're like, no, actually nothing's fine. You have everything wrong with you. Like, oh my God. And my dad's like, no, that's not what the doctor said.
I love your dad.
So me and my mom basically tag team my dad and go to the doctor's appointment with him.
Right.
And the doctor asked my dad, well, are you still smoking? And my dad's like, no. And in unison, me and my mom are like, yes. And he's like, no, I haven't had a cigarette in a week. So he didn't even tell anybody until the doctor asked. So my dad's never been one to like want to be in the spotlight or limelight or have any attention. He never wants to be like the center of attention. So he just kind of stopped on his own, and I had a conversation with him. I just told him I was really proud of him. I had tried a long time, like when I was a kid, you know, Daddy, stop smoking. It's not good for you. And he didn't care. And then even when I had my daughter, you know, it was, don't you want to see your granddaughter walk down the aisle one day? Don't you want to be there for that? He's like, if I die, I die. I'm okay.
So it must be an old world thing because...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, I finally gave up trying to make him do... You know, you're never going to be able to convince somebody to do something that they don't want to do. And you have to be able to release that control over wanting something for somebody. Even if you know it's the best for them, if they don't want it, it's not going to happen.
And you remember my saying for that. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Yeah. So I just kind of gave up asking. And that day when I went to my parents' house to pick them up to take them to the doctor's appointment, I gave my dad a hug and a kiss and I noticed he didn't smell. And when I say that, I mean he didn't smell like cigarettes. I don't think my dad
I mean, that's a very
yeah.
What's the word?
Pungent.
Thank you, pungent smell. Like, it's noticeable.
And I mean, my dad smoked so much that he actually began making his own cigarettes, so he could afford to smoke more. So he was smoking like 3 packs a day.
Oh my goodness.
No filters.
I didn't realize he was smoking that much. My dad used to smoke cigarettes that didn't have filters, too.
Yeah. So he would actually make his own. I remember one day going to his house and seeing this like gigantic mound, and now I know it's tobacco, but I thought my dad had like a meth lab or something, and he had like rolling papers and he had machines, and I'm like, what are you doing? So for my dad to stop was a big deal, and that day when I greeted him and he didn't smell, I was shocked, and I had noticed too that he had shaved because he was clean shaven. Usually he's just got stubble.
Right.
And so I said to my dad, I'm like, you shaved? And he's like, of course I shaved. And I even took a shower, kind of made a joke about it. So we laughed. So I just figured he was getting ready to go to the doctor's appointment, and he had shaved his face and took a shower and brushed his teeth and hadn't smoked since.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he had stopped
quit
smoking.
Gotcha.
So I told him, I'm really proud of him, and I asked him what made him finally want to stop, and he's like, I lit a cigarette and I was sitting there smoking outside, and I thought, what am I doing?
Aww.
He's like, and I just kind of threw out the cigarette, and he's like, and I went to bed. He's like, and when I woke up in the morning, he goes, I went to go light a cigarette, and I said, well, I made it all night without smoking. Let's see how much longer I can make it. He's like, and I haven't smoked since. And at that point, it had been over a week, so now it's been 2, and I'm just really proud of him.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh,
that's definitely a high of this year. Mm-hmm. So what about you? What are some of your highs and lows?
So my number one high would definitely be my parents moving back from Florida. Yeah. If I can convince my mom and her husband to move back from Arizona, we'd be in real good shape.
Have everybody all in one spot. That'd be nice.
It would be nice. But yeah, so that was definitely a high. And then my lows would probably be dealing with health issues for my father. I had to fly out to Florida in April unexpectedly. Like, I knew he needed surgery.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect it to happen when it happened.
Right.
I was supposed to go to Disney with the kids and a girlfriend of mine in May, and in February of this year, my dad had told me, he's like, I need to have the surgery done, whatever. I was like, all right, well, let me know, and I'll come down, because my stepmother doesn't drive, so with Dad being in the hospital, he ain't obviously going to be able to drive. So he calls me, he's like, yeah, I'm having surgery, such and such, I don't remember the dates, and I'm like, you're kidding, right? He's like, no, it's happening. I'm like, okay, let me, now I go into, like, crisis mode, and I had to move vacation time, and I wound up flying to Florida, spent 4 days there, flew home, was home for a day, unpacked, repacked me and the kids, and then drove to South Carolina to pick up my girlfriend, and then drove to Florida to go to Disney for a week. So it was just a little chaotic, but it was the surgery and dealing with that was definitely a low. But like I said, then when they moved, they were here. Another high was my trip to Europe this year with my boyfriend. We went to 2 F1 races.
Nice. And
we country hopped through Europe, which was amazing. And then when I got home from that trip, low number 2 hit. Oh. And I was at the nail salon getting my nails done. My dad and his stepmother and my stepmother were supposed to be coming down. And I had texted them. I'm like, I'm home. Let me know what time you're coming. Whatever. And then I get a message back saying, oh, well, we didn't want to tell you while you were in Europe, but Daddy's in the hospital. Excuse me, what?
Yeah.
Like, currently? Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I finished getting my nails done because they were like half done, and then got in my truck and drove up to Denville to go to the hospital. My father had gallstones, and that then snowballed into both my stepmother and my father getting COVID. So it was interesting.
It keeps on giving.
Oh man, let me tell you. But then that was the moment they realized, because I dropped everything and my 2 stepsisters dropped everything to help them.
Yeah.
So that was when they realized they needed to come back north because they have no help down there.
Right.
So that then entailed them moving back. They moved back November 1st, so that was a definite high because I love my dad.
Yeah. You don't realize how much your support system means to you until you go through something like that.
You need it.
And you need them there. And
Absolutely.
There. I think about that a lot. I've been offered, job opportunities all across the country. And, I've kind of like contemplated it, and then it's like, I literally have nobody there. What happens when I have to travel for business and now I have a dog and I don't have anybody to help watch my dog? Yep. Or what happens if something happens to my parents and now I have to travel across the country and go see them, or, whatever it might be. So having that support system, you don't realize how much it means to you until you need it in that moment. So
that's true. It's very, very true.
So thank you for always being part of mine.
Right back at you.
See, in that moment right now where I don't need it, I'm so grateful for it and appreciative. So thank you.
And now we're rolling into 2025.
This shit's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
Are you scared for 2025? Like, what is it gonna bring? I'm a little nervous. Like, I feel like I have a lot of like big things coming up in
You do.
2025. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of
especially
nervous
like the
to see.
beginning part of
Yeah.
the year.
Yeah.
Like right after the new year, you
Yep.
have some looming
Yep.
things to take care of.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm scared. I'm looking forward to 2025.
Yeah.
I'm going to Thailand.
I
in
can't wait
2025.
for you to go to Thailand.
I'm so excited. Yeah,
I'm not excited for the flight for you.
19
But
hours.
That's insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We go from my boyfriend and I are going to Thailand. We go from JFK we fly into Singapore. So that's 19 hours nonstop. Then we're there for an hour and 5-minute layover. So hopefully we make our flight. And
That's pretty close.
yeah. Oh, well, did I ever tell you what happened over the summer on our Europe trip?
Oh yes, where everything that could have gone wrong went
Oh
wrong.
yeah, so we're hoping that doesn't happen this
Yeah.
time. So then, like I said, we have an hour layover in Singapore, and then we go to Bangkok, and we'll be in Bangkok for a few days. Then we go to Pattaya for a few days, and then we go to Phuket for a few days. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we're also supposed to be going on an Iceland cruise. So I'm looking forward to that. Those are the two things that we have planned right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what else 2025 will bring. Some other stupid things that I need to deal with like my ex-husband.
Yeah.
So hopefully that works out smoothly.
Yeah.
We'll see how that works.
Good.
So, yeah.
So we will have good stuff and weird stuff and
Crazy stuff.
loose ends to tie up.
Yeah.
So it should be good.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where it takes us.
But I can't wait to see what happens on your New Year's date.
Is it a date though?
Okay, your New Year's Eve night.
Yeah, celebration.
Celebration.
Yeah, I don't like to call it a date. Listen, he's a really good guy, and I like
Mm-hmm.
him. I think he's great. It's just my life is chaotic. My life is crazy.
Your life is chaotic?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
And I know that right now I don't have the time to be able to dedicate to someone, especially somebody who deserves something good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I've explained it to him, and, you know, it kind of is what it is, so
Yep.
I don't know, that's a date. I think it's just us hanging out. Maybe him kind of wishing it was a date, but it is what it is.
All right, a couple things before we wrap this up. Don't forget, if you want to get in contact with us, you can email us at
2 voices, number 2, 1 vibe, number 1, @gmail.com.
Yep. And we also have decided to venture into social media.
Yay!
So you can now find us on TikTok, and you can find us at 2 voices, the number 2, 1 vibe, the number 1, and on Instagram at
Also, 2 voices, the number 2, 1 vibe. So any of those social media platforms, please follow us, subscribe. You can see all of our video podcasts on YouTube, and then all of our audio podcasts are also available on Buzzsprout, on Apple Podcasts,
anywhere
and
Spotify. You
Spotify.
listen to your podcast, you can catch us there.
Yeah.
So I think that about wraps it up for today.
Yeah, so wishing everybody a Happy New Year. So
Happy New Year.
it'll
Happy
be
2025.
2025 the next time that we talk to you guys, and we'll be able to give you an update about our New Year's and how that
No
went.
more so yours.
But wishing you guys health, wealth, love, happiness, success, all the things that everybody deserves in the new year, and not just in the new year, but always. So happy 2025 to everybody.
Talk to you soon.